Hey everyone, it's Ron, and just coming at you real quick this morning on Sunday morning, and wanted to get a video out to you. I was reading in the scriptures. We've been going through the Sermon on the Mount this past few weeks, and so we're into chapter 7 of Matthew, and the first, 5, 6 verses here. I was reading them the other day and just, basically kicked my butt. And that's a good thing when that happens to us. But I have a huge confession for you today that I've done this thing over the last several years with the kids and Susan in the car and stuff. And for those of you that don't know, when we got married, I was about 190 pounds, 6'4", 190 pounds, fine weight, everything great. And you get married and my weight fluctuated way up, and I've gone back and forth in different things and almost back down to where I was when I got married, just, about 10 pounds, 12 pounds off. And, but anyways, I hit as high as probably 260 pounds at one time in my life. That's 70 pounds heavier than what I was when I got married. And I don't have any, I wasn't giving birth to babies. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I was just getting fat, And so years back, as I would fluctuate back and forth, losing 20 pounds here, gaining it back, going back and forth. I got into this bad habit. You know me, I'm just Mr. Jokester and see an opportunity, and I'm such a visual person and visual learner and stuff. I'd be out in the car, we'd be driving down the road, and I would see an obviously overweight guy. And obviously overweight. And I would jokingly say to whoever's in the car with me, hey, do I look bigger than that guy? Just kind of doing this comparison thing. Intentionally being funny. That's not cool, actually. And, eventually, Susan would say, yeah, you look bigger than him. She's just mocking me and coming back, and the kids would just laugh. Or eventually, they got into the habit where they would spot a guy, and I only did it with guys and stuff, and they would spot someone and they'd say, Dad, don't even start. And that's horrible, because it speaks exactly to what the scripture talks about in Matthew 7. And, we're all going to laugh about stuff and everything, but, we live in a world, and we're all probably guilty of it, of criticism. Everyone now is a professional critic. All of the apps that you use, you can immediately 1-star it and 5-star it. You can, if you use some kind of service, you can immediately, comment on it. You can Yelp things and restaurants, and my one-time service that I had at a place that was horrible. And so you go on and, we all do it. People review all the time, and then we go read their reviews and whether we're going to do business with that guy. And so everyone is a critic and judging people probably on their worst days, not their best days. And the scripture is so true to us of just practically living in our lives. And so Matthew 7:1, it reads like this, and I'm reading this out of the Passion Translation, and it says, refuse to be a critic full of bias towards others, and judgment will not be passed on you if you do that. For you'll be judged by the same standard that you've used to judge others. The measurement you use on them will be used on you. Why would you focus on the flaw in someone else's life and yet fail to notice the glaring flaws of your own? How could you say to your friend, let me show you where you're wrong, when you're guilty of even more? You're being hypocritical and a hypocrite. First, acknowledge your own blind spots and deal with them. And then you'll be capable of dealing with the blind spot of your friend. I mean, that should hit home for all of us, because our tendency is to criticize. Our tendency is to judge immediately by what we see. Our tendency is to find the flaws in others. And typically we're doing that because we feel so insecure about our own. That's what I'm doing about myself when I shared the analogy a moment ago of, I'm not where I want to be, so let me point out someone else. And then it's horrible. And so what conviction, that's a good thing. Conviction's a good thing for us to have when God speaks to us and says, hey, deal with your own stuff. And I can assure you, all of us have enough stuff to deal with. And so I just want to challenge us with that today. I'm challenging myself. I've been challenged for the last few days since rereading that scripture. And I've known the scripture, obviously. But just trying to not be so critical. Trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. When we're driving in traffic, when we're going through our day, when we're interacting with others, that, we may be encountering them on the worst day of their life and we don't even know it. And just being gracious and kind. And that's difficult in our society because we're all so fast-paced and hectic and frustrated. But when the peace of God is upon our hearts, it's so much easier to live that way in a gracious and caring attitude. And so I just challenge us with that. Let's take the critic hat off and stop analyzing everyone and judging everyone. And instead, let's be encouragers with our life. And so I bless you today with health and healing and wisdom and knowledge and power and prosperity and the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit of God to be evident and flowing in your life. That's what that is, those gifts and the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. That's what we want, those to be evident in our life. And just praying you have a fantastic week. I love you, and looking forward to talking with you again.